first capture into the Animoji. Okay, so I tried to do it again, even though basically this is not really the scheduled free time that I basically had. So yeah, this is just pretty much unintentional, but yeah, pretty much have some quite free time without any interruption, just like tomorrow free time perhaps, I'm not sure. Even though yeah, I'm not really try to stream that long, because basically yesterday I have tried to stream for around 19 minutes, which is basically the longest that I basically tried to do into the YouTube live stream. But yeah, most likely all of the things that I try to talk is basically unnecessary, so yeah, I just don't know what to talk again, including right now. Basically it's only 1 minute running, so I'm not sure what kind of things that I want to talk. But yeah, I actually wanted to do a live stream about games, even though most likely it will not possible with an Animoji, because I need to install some additional add-on into the OBS Studio first in order to remove the background of this Animoji to make it transparent, because the built-in background filter, which is the chroma key, it's actually only support colored background, so white and black background is just not possible to do that, which is pretty annoying, because the color key, which is basically intended to black and white background, it's just not seems to be working. I just don't know why. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm not able to try not able to do combining several scenes, just like the one that I tried to do it on the iMovie. So yeah, what kind of things that I want to talk. So but basically, if you talk about the games, the recent release game, even though it was basically pretty popular, like the Hogwarts Legacy, but for some reason it is not really trending in Indonesia, because most of the games that basically trending is basically already an old games that yeah, it's more like a competitive, so competitive online games, which is I definitely not really like that kind of thing. So yeah, because maybe people still think it fun and it was basically pretty unique, I'm not sure. So because it is pretty unique, so at the same time the one that basically viral is actually the gameplay of not really popular games, but it has a different kind of, I don't know, maybe like horror games, horror and comedy games at the same time, I'm not sure, because yeah, definitely the graphic quality of the game is not as good as any kind of AAA games out there. So yeah, that's the reason why maybe I will try to play an old mobile games, which is for me it was pretty unique, because it was tried to combine a virtual phone into a application, which I actually tried to do it as well on my own application, but it turns out it will not possible, because it's kind of like copywriting content of the operating system. So maybe they just don't want to make the user confused about what's the real operating system and which is not. So you basically need to redesign a little bit different, so you cannot use the asset that basically available on the operating system. And yeah, I'm not sure, because it is basically a quite horror games, because yeah, there are some maybe loud sound or a little bit jump scare perhaps, I'm not sure. But yeah, if I try to do a live stream of those game, it's definitely cannot include the Animoji, because yeah, I'm not sure whether, because it's first it will most likely have a portrait orientation as well for the live stream, which is pretty annoying, especially because live stream on YouTube is not possible I guess, to do a portrait orientation, so it will not considered as a YouTube short, obviously, because live stream is definitely more than 1 minute, because of it will be pretty weird to live stream less than 1 minute. And beside that, I think the orientation is always been horizontal, typical horizontal scenes, unlike the, or maybe in order to live stream in a portrait you just have to do it in the application, perhaps, just like when you try to do live stream on the TikTok or Instagram live, or I'm not sure. But yeah, I actually have so many games like that, but which is basically pretty old, and most likely there is already some people that try to play those games, but I'm not sure whether it is already played on Indonesia or not. But or Indonesia by Indonesian gamers, YouTubers or not, because yeah, it's not really interesting game. Maybe there's definitely no comedy in there in that game, but for me it is pretty unique. And I am actually recently discovered about several unique games that basically pretty much like that, but it was actually released on the PC, since it is basically have pretty big size for a game, so it's definitely not possible to run it on the mobile unless you are trying to download the assets every time that you are trying to play this game. But I'm not sure whether the application can be that efficient in terms of downloading the asset and removing it when it is no longer used. Because most likely, when if you talk about the application that try to be downloading the assets, it's like a real racing 2, which is pretty much making the game application on the mobile storage is getting so big that I basically cannot imagine. Just like an instant messaging app, which basically, if you often try to chat with other peoples or even joining so many groups like I did on the Telegram, it is actually make the local storage even bigger as well, even though Telegram is actually the best instant messaging which support full unlimited cloud storages. But yeah, it's still basically not enough for the caching in order to make the application smooth, perhaps. I'm not sure, because yeah, I basically try to install those application in my old iPhones, which is basically have a bigger storage than my main iPhone 11 for this Animoji. So yeah, that's the reason why, even though yeah, it's still basically not really enough, maybe in some distant future, so I'm not sure. Maybe I will need to delete the application first, just like when I always try to do it with other people WhatsApp application that basically not no longer support, so the storage is no longer sufficient to cater all of those WhatsApp messages, because WhatsApp is most likely stored on your local storage, especially when you try to download the photos automatically, which is pretty dumb. Because yeah, unlike line instant messaging, which is basically a little bit better because it's basically still stored on the cloud, but since it was stored on the cloud, it's not basically unlimited, so it will be expired after a month, I guess. I'm not sure. So yeah, it's already running 9 minutes, so it's pretty long for a live stream talking about this unnecessary stuff. So I'm actually still basically prepared some of the recording that I've basically done, including the one that basically I already tried to add an additional game footage from my Grand Theft Auto Online, which I am still actually pretty often to play, even though yeah, obviously I'm actually started to get bored, especially when I already tried to bought all of the things that basically make the game a little bit improve just basically make the game so easy, because if I didn't try to do that, I'm not sure how much time that I need to spend in order to buy those expensive things in the game. So yeah, it seems to be story mode or single player offline. It seems to be a little bit better in terms of the ambient, because maybe the character is able to speak every time that they try to interact in the game. So it's basically make the vibe or the ambient a little bit better, unlike the online game, which basically complete silent, just like the our main character in Grand Theft Auto 3, which basically I just don't get it why the game developer tried to do that in the beginning. Maybe it's just want to be a little bit mysterious, perhaps, I'm not sure, because they basically able to do that on the other non-playable characters, but I just don't get it why they try to do it on the main characters. Maybe they wanted to do the main characters as personalized as possible, just like when I already talked it several times on my previous video, or maybe previous live stream, I'm not sure. So yeah, after this maybe I will try to do karaoke again before I will attend some daily meetings in around maybe 45 minutes. I'm not sure, because yeah, it's but if you talk about the karaoke setup, I basically need to reduce the mic or the auxiliary input into 20 decibel from the regular 26 decibel for just talking without any background music, because for some reason the background music is cannot be higher than the 26 decibel as well. So if I try to use the voice on 26 decibel as well, on the same 26 decibel, it will not really significant to notice about the background music of the karaoke. So that's the reason why I need to reduce it into 20 decibel, because yeah, I just don't want to hear a very loud audio on my headphones for the monitoring the karaoke music as well. So that's the reason why. And most likely this actually happened because when I try to sing a karaoke song, I basically try to speak a little bit louder than the one that I try to do it without a background music just like this. So it's just basically a regular talk. Maybe because I a little bit motivated when I try to sing than talking about this without any script. So that's the reason why. So yeah, I'm not really motivated enough to talk about something, especially when I didn't have a sufficient viewers that basically make me satisfied. So I just don't know when will it finally happens. But yeah, consider I also cannot do it in a very frequent times as well. So yeah, I just try to do it for the sake of not regret it in the future for not doing it at all. So yeah, what kind of things that I want to talk? Maybe I will try to do it until 19 minutes, just like yesterday live stream, because tomorrow I will most likely do it this again for the same amount of time, perhaps, because yeah, even though I most likely have more than 1 hour free time, but yeah, it's still there. So live stream for 1 hour is definitely unnecessary unless you're trying to combine several contents at a single live stream, which is basically need to change the setup. And yeah, I don't want to make a copyright content on my live stream as well, so I usually only try to record maybe later to be uploaded on different platform, which basically not really have a very sensitive copyright content like because yeah, if you talk about copyright content on YouTube, if you are already blocked or disputed by many copyright strikes, it is basically block or ban your IP as well. So that's even more annoying, because one of the channel that basically I used to watch all the time about the copyright contents, it's just no longer possible to create another. So they tried to create another channel, the second channel, but when it was taken down by the YouTube again, they cannot seems to be creating the third channel unless they were trying to do it with a different internet connection or VPN perhaps, I'm not sure, which is basically pretty annoying, because most people will definitely not use this kind of things in order to just access YouTube. That basically can be accessed very easily, so it's not like a forbidden website or something like that. So yeah, that's the reason why YouTube algorithm, yeah, it's just pretty tricky, and I just don't know why the people who basically not really good, if they're basically lucky enough, the algorithm seems to be helping them a lot to make them famous, even though the content was basically, yeah, it's basically pretty unnecessary, just like the one that basically I tried to bought it, I tried to create it this time. So yeah, and what kind of things did I want to talk in the last minutes? Maybe, I don't know, I'm just trying to create a good behavior recording first, perhaps, just trying to fulfill any kind of desire or a good productivity, personal productivity. So yeah, well, basically the first work days, because it seems to be weekend just running so fast, even though basically I didn't do many things. I just tried to play the same online games over and over again, which is basically already started to make me a little bit bored. But yeah, I don't basically like to play the other games. Basically, I just wanted to collect some discount about other games. Maybe after I got a regular income again, because yeah, I need to buy something else first, which is basically prevent it for not available anymore, even though it was actually new things that I basically not really like to do. But you consider the second-hand things is basically more expensive than the new one, so I think I will try to do it with the new one first. Just yeah, especially when I wanted to buy many new things as well during my next week vacation, so I think it will not really significant if I try to compare with the expenses that I try to do it during the vacation. So yeah, and I think it's already longer than the previous live stream.